Hey everybody, this is Pete with Old City Press and letterpressinc.com. Today I'd like to talk to you about what we use to clean our letterpress machines. So I'd like to go over the material we use, the solution we use, and just general techniques to it. What we're working on today is a Vandercook number 4, but the same exact solution and material would work for a wide range of letterpress machines, whether it's a Chandler Price or a CP Pilot or a Kluge or a Heidelberg or another Vandercook. Or a Kelsey press. The general idea of it is exactly the same. So, and this is just techniques that work for us. There's a lot of stuff out there, and I see I'll get a lot of comments and questions from people new in the letterpress market to ask questions like, what do you use to clean? So this is what's worked well for us. So what I want to go over is our main solution is we use a odorless mineral spirits. I know there's a lot of people that use like a simple green, and I've tried everything under the sun. Like you can use like a simple green or power wash. There's a bunch of paint thinner, but what has worked best for us is odorless mineral spirits, and I just got this at Home Depot. They actually offer a eco-friendly version. It comes in a white plastic jug. But the challenge with it is it's like kind of a milky consistency to it, and it works. But if you have the can for a long time, it starts to settle, and then it becomes less effective. So it just didn't really work for us in the long term. What we ended up doing is using the eco-friendly version, and then finally using it with the odorless mineral spirits, which is the same thing we did when I tried using Simple Green. Simple Green worked, but it just didn't clean them good enough. So it took a lot of time cleaning, a lot of time and effort overall. So what we do though is we put it in a water bottle, right? Empty bottle. And this allows us to save a ton of solution. So whether you're using the odorless mineral spirits or power wash, I always suggest the water bottle, the empty bottle, because what happens is I use probably a fifth amount of solution as I use when I'm dumping on a rag. So this allows you to get even coverage across the machine. It allows you to easily wipe things down, and you just don't use very much with it overall. So this is a big part of that. Obviously rubber gloves, right? Nobody get that overall, and it's more so the ink we use. Letterpress ink has very little VOCs in it. It's very safe, very vegetable oil based. But the gloves themselves, I just like keep my hands clean. I look like a creep walking around with dirty hands all the time. All right, and then what we use to clean it is rags. So I've tried t-shirts. I've tried all that stuff, right? I just use Scott rags. It works well. I buy them on Amazon, and I get like a box of I think a case of 10 of these at a time, right? Which makes it pretty cost effective. I've tried t-shirts, but the challenge is you have to wash them, and if you want to wash shirts with ink on them in your own washer, no. So you end up going to a commercial washer, which isn't fair to anybody else who's using it after you. And it really comes down to time, right? So when you think about using some of this stuff, right, I just find other ways to be a little more eco-friendly with things. But I find it more time, right? So to use a mineral spirits could clean a machine in like 10 minutes. If I'm using a simple green solution, it might be 20 or more, right? So the same as, do I want to spend an hour washing t-shirts, or do I want to spend an hour designing or printing or calling a new client, right? So it's all what's based on your time overall. So, okay. If you're using like an ink, so the inks we use, we have rubber-based and oil-based. So rubber-based inks are kind of nice because you can leave them on the machine for a long time, right? They don't really dry per se; they tack up, right? And so what you can do is, if you're doing like a long run, you can leave it overnight or for a day or two, and it's just going to tack up on you, which is kind of nice. If you're using a oil-based ink, it dries pretty quickly. So you really have to kind of plan that time out, right? So you have to plan time to be able to set up, to print, to fix any errors, to reprint, and then to clean up. You can't say go to lunch with Five Guys or whatever midway through and think you're going to come back an hour and a half later and pick up where you are. Just not going to happen. It's going to start drying up on you, right? If it does start drying up on you, don't freak out. Just get a green scrubby pad, right? And that'll help clean up the rollers if you're using an oil-based ink. Our inks, our only oil-based inks are the gold line, silver line, and the neons, right? Besides that, we use rubber-based for everything else, which we love. The nice thing about the oil-based ink, just in general, is that it can be applied to a lot of different materials. So you can use a coated paper with oil-based ink because it dries pretty quickly. With a rubber-based ink, you would not use on a coated piece of paper. So, okay. As far as cleaning, so we use the mineral spirits, we use the rags, we clean the machine down. And then underneath here, you can see, well, it's kind of difficult to see here, but their rollers are black, right? It doesn't matter if they're black or they're blue or whatever color the material is. It's usually it's all the same type of material. It's just the manufacturer changes the coloring of them, so they want to make themselves look a little bit different. So don't think that because you're using a blue roller on your Chandler Price press and a black roller on our Vandercook that we have to use a different kind of cleaning process, because that's not the case. Okay. If you're using a dark color though, right? If you're using like black or a navy, something along those lines, we strongly suggest using like an Easy Street for it. Overall, Easy Street basic conditions the rollers. So we clean the rollers off once. We use Easy Street. It conditions the rollers. It pulls out any kind of ink in the rollers, and then we clean them again, right? I find it's faster just to do that versus spending an extra 10 minutes cleaning it. So, I do know people have tried using vegetable oil versus using Easy Street, and there's some other kind of homemade things that work. But for me, in a production environment, I know this works. This tube is like $20, and it lasts like 6 months. So I find it's well worth spending the $20 for a product I know works overall versus spending an extra 20 or 30 minutes cleaning a press, right, or using like a vegetable oil. It's just I find my time could be more better, like drumming up new business or whatever, right, or building out a page on a website. So just things to keep in mind, right? This kind of stuff is kind of worth it. So just to recap, odorless mineral spirits, right? I would suggest odorless, you don't want to get normal mineral spirits, it smells. We're in a commercial environment, right? So we have clients come and help print us, we have clients that come do wedding appointments, and we have a small retail section. I've never really had anybody complain, and we use a lot of odorless mineral spirits. If you use a paint thinner, it smells really bad. If you use a non-odorless mineral spirits, it smells really bad. I would avoid both of those at all costs. You always do want a lot of ventilation though, right? We have a pretty strong ventilation to have a filter in here, so just in general. So you want to always have, don't do this in like a dingy basement or whatever, right? Or anything like that. Make sure you have a well ventilated area. All right, so the odorless mineral spirits, you can get that at Home Depot. Empty water bottle, again, Home Depot, I think it's like $2. Scott Rag, got them on Amazon, pretty simple. They do have them at Home Depot, they have them at Lowe's. They're all based the same price. I think it's like $1 more there, right? I like the fact that I can buy 20 or 10, a pack of 10 of these, 10 boxes of these, and they ship them and drop them off at my house versus me carrying 10 of them to my car in a cart and look like a weirdo. So, okay, and then again, rubber gloves, right? And I get like 100 or 1,000 pack on Amazon, right? I think we buy 1,000 pack overall, which is like just 10 boxes of 100 overall. And I do have like the thicker gloves too that I use too, but these are pretty easy and pretty simple, and I actually do reuse them as much as I can. So, all right, great. If you have any questions, please let us know. You can leave the comments below on YouTube or send us a message on our website at letterpress.com. But thank you so much. Take care.